My name is Alex, and today I want to share something that completely changed my life, and it can change yours too. We're talking about how to learn so fast that it almost feels unfair in today's world. I grew up in the crowded streets of Mumbai, in a small apartment where money was always tight. School was rough for me. I wasn't the kid who got straight A's or won prizes. Honestly, I failed more classes than I passed. Teachers said I was distracted, my parents worried I'd never make anything of myself. A few years later, somehow, I ended up at MIT. Graduated with honors, became CEO of a tech startup that grew into millions in revenue, and now I sit on boards advising billion-dollar companies. How did that happen? Not because I'm some natural genius. Not because I read 100 books a year or survived on coffee and all-nighters. It happened because I figured out how to learn, really learn, faster and more effectively than almost everyone around me. In 2025, with AI everywhere, raw intelligence isn't the edge it used to be. ChatGPT can answer questions faster than you can think them. Technical skills. They're valuable today and possibly obsolete tomorrow. The real superpower now is speed of learning, the ability to pick up new concepts, master new tools, and adapt to change at an incredible pace. That's what keeps you relevant. And today I'm going to hand you the exact system I use, the 3C protocol: compress, compile, and consolidate. It's simple, it's backed by science, and it turns average learners into elite performers. Let me start by explaining why most of us get learning wrong. Your brain is this amazing 3-pound machine that uses up to 20% of your body's energy even when you're just sitting there thinking. The prefrontal cortex, your thinking headquarters, handles new ideas, problem-solving, creativity. But it has real limits. It needs fuel, oxygen, and deep focus to build strong new connections. When you try to cram, you basically force-feed your brain information like you're stuffing a turkey. Test day comes, and half of it is gone. Why? Because your brain isn't built to handle massive parallel processing like an AI. It's serial. It does one thing well at a time. Overload it, and retention crashes. Studies have shown that when people try to juggle too many things at once, they retain as little as 10% of what they studied. I learned this the hard way my first semester at MIT. Quantum physics, algorithms, endless lectures. I studied for hours every day and still felt like I was falling behind. I felt stupid. But then I started reading the actual cognitive science behind learning, and everything changed. It's not about working harder. It's about working with your brain instead of fighting it. One of the most powerful ideas I found is something called the generation effect. When you struggle to figure something out, when you wrestle with a concept instead of passively consuming it, your brain wires it in much deeper. Researchers found that students who were forced to struggle more actually learned twice as much, even though they hated the process at first. Friction isn't the enemy, it's the fuel. When you let AI do all the heavy lifting for you, you're robbing yourself of real mastery. So how do we use that struggle strategically instead of painfully? That's where the 3C protocol comes in. First, compress. This is about turning mountains of information into molehills your brain can actually handle. Your working memory can only juggle about 4 to 7 chunks of information at the same time. Overload it and everything falls apart. The best learners in the world, chess grandmasters, elite musicians, top surgeons, don't memorize millions of details. They compress complex patterns into a few meaningful chunks. A grandmaster doesn't see every piece on the board, they see stories, relationships, strategies they've seen thousands of times before. How do you do it? Start with selection. Use the 80-20ths rule. 20% of any subject usually gives you 80% of the value. When I was learning to code, I skipped all the nice-to-have tutorials and reread the core chapters on loops, functions, and data structures 5 times. Ask yourself, what is the absolute core idea here? What problems does this solve? If it's a history book, focus on the 5 or 6 turning point events instead of every single date. Next, association. Connect new information to things you already know. Learning Spanish. Link the word, casa, to a vivid memory of your childhood home. When I was studying finance, I thought of stock options like placing a bet on a sports game: risk, reward, timeline, expiration. Suddenly it clicked. Research shows that making strong associations like this can boost memory by 30% or more. Then chunking. Create mental shortcuts. Draw mind maps, invent metaphors, even make little songs. For the Krebs cycle in biology, I imagined it as an energy factory. Raw materials come in, ATP gets pumped out, waste gets expelled. Keep it simple, explain it like you're talking to a curious 6-year-old. Einstein said if you can't explain something simply, you don't really understand it. Add visualization on top. Turn concepts into mental movies. When I studied anatomy, I pictured myself walking through the human body like it was a video game level. Compression alone gets information into your head. But to own it, you need the second C, compile. This is where you turn knowledge into real skill through active practice. Think about people who have photographic memories but can't apply anything. There's a reason for that. Memory without usage stays fragile. The goal is to compile what you've compressed through deliberate, focused action. I structure this with 3 pillars: timer, test, and tools. First, timer. Your brain works best in focused ultradian rhythms, about 90 minutes of deep work followed by 20 minutes of rest. I block my calendar like it's a sacred appointment. 90 minutes in the morning, phone off, door closed, no distractions. Studies show this rhythm can double your productivity compared to all-day grinding. Second, test. Forget passive highlighting and rereading. The most powerful thing you can do is test yourself constantly. Learn a small piece, then immediately quiz yourself. What are the main flaws in this argument? How would I apply this in a real project? Testing can improve long-term retention by 50% or more compared to just reviewing notes. I used to fail exams because I never tested myself. Now I quiz every single day. Third, tools, the ones I rely on most. Slow burn. Practice deliberately slowly. When I was learning guitar, I played scales at half speed, feeling every finger placement. Musicians who practice slowly build accuracy 2 to 3 times faster. Immersion. Put yourself in the real environment as soon as possible. Learning public speaking. Don't just rehearse in the mirror, go bomb in front of real people. Failure is the fastest teacher. Teach to learn. Explain the concept to someone else, record yourself teaching it, or even talk through it out loud to your dog. Teaching reinforces your own understanding dramatically. Finally, reframe from different angles. Look at the pros, the cons, the analogies, the counter-arguments. You've compressed the information, you've compiled it through practice. Now the final step locks it in forever: consolidate. Learning is a 2-phase process. There's the active phase when you're focused and struggling, and then there's the passive phase when your brain does the real wiring. During rest, your brain replays what you learned 10 to 20 times faster than real time, strengthening the connections. Skip rest and it's like planting seeds and never watering them. There are micro and macro ways to consolidate. Micro. After an intense 90-minute session, take 10 to 20 seconds of neural replay. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and mentally walk through exactly what you just learned. That tiny pause alone can boost recall by 20%. Macro. After the block, do 20 minutes of non-sleep deep rest. Just lie down, no phone, no screens, just relax. Or take a walk outside. Walking in nature has been shown to increase creative problem solving by 60%. And never underestimate sleep. That's when your brain does the heavy lifting of reversing the day's learning and making it permanent. 7 to 9 hours is non-negotiable. On top of that, add reflection. At the end of the day, journal quickly: what stuck today? What confused me? How can I use this tomorrow? That simple habit of metacognition can make you 25% more effective at future learning. Keep your mindset healthy too. Compare yourself only to yesterday's version of you. Track small wins. Give yourself permission to be bad at something while you're learning it. Honor the natural rhythm of progress. Some days you sprint, some days you crawl. That's normal. Nothing is unlearnable with enough patience and the right system. After I burned out as CEO, I started treating rest and reflection as seriously as the work itself. I added daily walks, short NSDR sessions, weekly reviews. My decisions got sharper, my creativity came back, and the company actually grew faster when I stopped trying to do everything. So here's the summary. You're not broken if learning feels hard. It's a skill, and the 3C protocol gives you the roadmap. Compress to make things simple and memorable, compile to turn knowledge into real skill through focused practice, and consolidate to make it stick for life. I've gone from failing student to someone who gets to build and advise companies at the highest level. And if I can do it, you absolutely can too. Embrace the struggle, respect the rest, and go learn something that feels almost unfair. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments, what's one thing you're going to compress and tackle this week? Thanks for watching. Go make your brain work for you. I'll see you in the next one.